Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates and anything and all things Ravens. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's dive into the latest Ravens news I have for you today. So, pretty much, I'm still at a loss. Not so much the loss for words for the loss against the Lions. More like it happened, but I'm not ready to move on. There needs to be some changes. Particularly with the offensive line, which former Bengals wide receiver Chad Johnson had to say. So, Ocho had mentioned that the Ravens offensive line got eviscerated. Absolutely eviscerated. He didn't blame Lamar so much as he blamed the offensive line. Mind you, Lamar, again, didn't have a bad game, but his hesitation to run needs to be addressed a little bit as well. But Ocho had solely blamed the offensive line for the Ravens' struggles, which is true. It is unbelievable. 7 sacks in one game, you should be embarrassed. You should be benched. That's how it should work for you. Okay? I mean, obviously we can't bench players except Daniel Falele, but still, it is unheard of for a team to do that. It's just we're ranked second now in sacks taken. Only team that can that beat us out in that, the Minnesota Vikings. And look at their QB. JJ McCarthy's out with an injury right now. I don't want Lamar Jackson to get injured again. I don't want to go through another season like that again. He's 100% right with this because this needs to be addressed now. Now, we need to start doing what the Lions do, which is rotate guys. That's how the Lions do it. That's how the Eagles do it. If you're going to stick with the offensive line and say, this works best for us, it's like, no, it doesn't. 3 games in, it does not work for you. Okay? It 100% agree with Chad Johnson on this. Because this has got to be addressed, and there's no other blame, or there's no more blame that any player on offense deserves more than the entire offensive line. That was embarrassing. It's just unheard of. And what is it? When is it going to be addressed? When Lamar Jackson gets injured? When Lamar Jackson suffers a career ender, or when Lamar Jackson just says, "I'm out. See you later." When his contract is up, he's like, "Can't do this anymore. I'm gonna get hurt. I'm not going to be able to play out my career, win a Super Bowl because you guys refused to help me in the pass protection." Mind you, I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to say that outright, but because he's too nice of a guy. But we see it. Unless something else is going on, then the offensive line needs to be addressed. It's just, what is going on? And 100% agree with Chad Johnson's take on this. The offensive line deserves the blame for the offensive struggles in the Ravens' loss to the Lions. Anyway, moving on here. So, Marlon Humphrey came out yesterday with a video covering the Ravens' loss, saying, "Hey guys, love the flock. It was a heartbreaking loss, but it's time to move on." Marlon, you got beat out twice, and it's kind of eyebrow raising a little bit here. Mind you, you're a great player, all-pro corner, arguably one of the best corners on the Ravens defense, but I'm still sticking with what you said immediately after the game, is that we stink. We do. There's just no other way to describe this, if you want this oh yeah, it's a heartbreaker, but we got to move on. It's dude, I understand. As a former athlete, I understand. We got to pick ourselves up, move on, see what we can do. We can't linger on a game. Yes, I agree with that that way. But at the same time, it's on a team that has so much talent that you're not going to see something like this for a long time. And trying to keep all the players there is going to be very difficult. needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. Because where are you going to get, a defense like this ever again? I've said it many times before. On paper, this defense is one of the best in the NFL. Proving me wrong here with every single game that this defense plays. Mind you, Meta BK was not in the game, and we're still, rumors spreading about his status. We don't listen to it until something comes out officially. But it's come to a point where, Marlon, we need to start looking at you need to start looking at your teammates and being like, what is going on? It's like in that video that came out a couple of years ago when Buda Baker was screaming in the locker room saying, I'm tired of losing. That's what you need to do. You need to yell at yourself in the mirror. You need to yell at your teammates. Be like, I can't stand this anymore. And just say, we need to do this. We need to step it up or fix the coaching staff. Do something. Because this, as a fan, this ain't cutting it. We're not moving on. And, if we're doing the same mistakes over and over and over again. This is exactly what leads into my next point with Flacco shade. Because everyone remembers Joe Flacco used to be a deep baller guy. And then after the Super Bowl win, offensive line became atrocious. Flacco kept getting injured, and he became check down Flacco. Because the only way Joe Flacco was going to be able to keep playing and still be in the NFL to this day is because he had to check it down. There's no other way to say it, because Flacco isn't Lamar Jackson. He can't dodge and weave and make plays and outside of the pocket make plays that are, it's something that you're like, man, this guy is special. Flacco's a pocket passer, and he became a check down guy because of the offensive line. It's the same thing I said with Chad Johnson a few seconds ago. It's this is starting to get old. When Lamar Jackson hesitates to run, mind you, the Lions came prepared. They came prepared because of that. Lamar Jackson couldn't find any, open lanes to run, so he got tackled from behind. He got sacked from behind. He got sacked from the side. Aiden Hutchinson got him. A forced fumble on Derrick Henry, and it's just one of those things where, is Lamar Jackson going to have to start doing that because he wants to save himself? And then it becomes frustrating for Ravens fans when he just starts checking it down and can't make any plays because of the offensive line? Is that what it's going to be like because the coaching staff refuses to address this? It's just, if I'm a coach, I saw my team playing this, I'd be like, you should, it's going to be on me. It's how I'm teaching these guys, how I'm coaching these guys. But also it's what are we doing? We were so good last year and the year before that with Mike McDonald. I knew he was the defensive coordinator, but it was we came prepared every single game in 2023, 2024, and now we're in 2025 season, and it's just diminishing. It always went like that, when we had Mike McDonald, he in practices, he would be so prepared against the offensive line that we had to make adjustments there on how the offensive line played. Look at Ronnie Stanley. Ronnie Stanley's game improved tremendously, and now it's back to Ronnie Stanley while he was injured. And then Lamar Jackson's gonna have to run for his life, throw the check down again. Shades of Flacco. It's that's how Flacco's been able to play for so long, is because he had to check it down. It's just what else do we need to do here? One last thing here. So Ryan Clark, mind you, I'm not a huge Ryan Clark fan. He has been very critical of the Ravens because he's very biased. Because he's a former Steeler. Nobody likes Ryan Clark to begin with. As a Ravens fan, nobody likes him. But he brought up a good point. He thought the Ravens were going to be the team to beat for the Super Bowl. And now he's retracting that statement because of the loss to the Lions. And this is going to be the very rare times that I'm going to agree. It's how can we win a Super Bowl? Mind you, the Lions, again, like I said yesterday, the Lions are a contender. They're a contender in the NFC. Third time was the charm for them in the last few years that we faced them. But again, Ravens keep shooting themselves in the foot, whether it's the coaching staff or the offensive line. It's the fact that we had no pass rush at all, but mind you, injuries happen. So it's either one of the two. And Ryan Clark said it the best. Like, this team isn't. How can we assume this team is going to be a Super Bowl team with the way they played against the Lions? Something's got to change. One of the rare times I agree with him, because Lions game is a perfect example. Bills game is a perfect example. The Browns game is a perfect example. How can this team win a Super Bowl with the way they've looked so far? There is a whole damn season ahead. Like, again, we gotta fix it, and we gotta fix it fast, or else this Ravens team is in a lot of trouble. Thank you for tuning into Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video. I will catch you all later.